One of my favorite things to do is not have to worry about what we're having for dinner. I love when my HelloFresh shows up on my doorstep and I know exactly what I'm going to get. What are we having today?
Tonight's fare is going to be 1 pan pork Santa Fe tacos. I almost got that right.
Oh, you did. 1 pan Santa Fe pork tacos. Awesome. That sounds delicious.
Let's start by sauteing some onion, shall we? Chip Cheerio over to the stove, shall we?
This year, Jason and I decided to make a little New Year's resolution on keeping track of like how we're eating. And HelloFresh is the perfect thing for that. If you're counting calories, watching carbs, if you like veggies, or you're looking for family-friendly meals, they cover all of that. And right now, if you head over to HelloFresh.com and use my code, CharmingAbode65, you get 65% off and free shipping. I had no idea that he's back here being crazy behind me that whole time. HelloFresh making you a little excited?
Hungry.
Hungry. Do you need help with anything?
Sure, stir this up so I can go do that.
You guys know that we use HelloFresh because it's kind of a game changer for us. With Jason's dementia, it is something that helps him to continue to do something that he absolutely loves.
This keeps me on track and satisfies that itch for me of I like to create and cook and make flavorful things, and it's all in one, and it gets delivered to the door, so I don't have to go to the store, which is also a problem.
Yeah. Oh, that looks good.
Bon appetit.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And a big thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget you can go to HelloFresh.com and put in code CharmingAbode65 and you get 65% off and free shipping.
Thanks, HelloFresh. Here's to you.
Okay, we're gonna do an update video. I have Jason getting ready to come on here. I noticed, and you guys noticed, that he did really well just chitty-chatting in the car. Instead of sitting him down in front of the camera like this, the time before, I just turned it on in the car and we just chatted, and he did really well with that. So I did it again, and he did well again too. I just want to say that looking back, when I was looking at the footage of our chat in the car that you're about to see, it just warmed my heart. Because Jason, thank you, Jesus, has not lost his long-term memory. He just has short-term memory loss. He really enjoys talking about the past. And you can tell, you guys will have to let me know if you see it down in the comments. He lights up telling stories from the past. I don't know, it just warmed my heart to see him just talking about the past. And so that's been something I've been trying to encourage lately, as I'll just ask him questions like, oh, hey, remember this? And like something from then, and because I think it gives him a sense of well-being, because you know, you don't feel inadequate like when he can't even. You're going to notice when we talk. I'm like, what does an average day look like for you? And he's gonna say, I have to have coffee. And if you know him, you're gonna watch his face. His face goes kind of blank, and then he's like, I eat, and so he's trying to cover, but he can't think of what an average day is like for him. But then when you talk about the past stuff, you're just gonna see that he just really lights up and enjoys it. Just from a caregiver point of view, I don't know if it'll always be like that, but so far I'm really happy that he can still talk about just wonderful memories from the past. I also do want to point out, because I don't like to just sit there and ask him question after question. Some things that have been really helping with Jason is music. He loves music, listens to it a lot when I encourage him to cook. And then he also listens to it out in his room. So that is something that is just, it's really good for you, but music's so good for the soul. So he really enjoys that. And then he is still, you know, doing his naps and that type of thing. But right now, calm mood. He's been pretty calm. And honestly, he was so fantastic. You're going to learn in this video. I was sick the last couple weeks, and that can be super stressful when you're trying to care for someone and you can't care for yourself. But he was amazing. So chokes me up. God definitely answered my prayers during that time. So anyway, all right, I'm going to jump right into it with Jason, and we'll see you guys later. Okay.
What's going on? Howdy, people.
You're a goofball. I feel like we got a little bit of a weird angle because of the way my thing's mounted, but we'll just go with it, right?
Go with him.
So, let's talk about the exciting. Oh, I love when it bounces. Let's talk about the excitingness that we have coming up.
James and Emma Bojema will be staying with us starting next week. That's exciting.
That is so exciting. That's our grandkids from Florida. They're going to be in town and they're going to be staying with us. So we're so excited.
And then the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl.
Whoop, whoop.
And I have a feeling that's not what you're talking about.
No, I was just going to update everyone.
On that test thing that's coming up?
Yeah. So let's go back and let's tell them. So we went to the neurologist, and your neurologist has moved. And so they put us with a different one, and which was fine. We've been seeing our other neurologist since 2018. And so it was kind of nice to see somebody new with fresh eyes, I feel like. And she kind of looked at things a little more thoroughly, I feel like.
Or just through a different lens.
Yeah. Everybody knows you can't have a definitive diagnosis of Lewy body dementia until you die and you do an autopsy. But they diagnose it based on symptoms because the majority of you guys all have the same type of symptoms. But you want to talk about it?
It is so. I was willing to go ahead and do the tests that are required now, but Leslie wants, like everybody else seems to want to wait till I die. Because I guess the only way to do it is pull your brain out, scramble it up, and see what comes out. And,
oh, you wanted to go ahead and do it now?
I was going to.
Oh.
In the interest of science.
I mean, it's not really going to make much of a difference, right?
If they can get close to back together, maybe it'll even be better.
So they have this test, and it's just been in the clinical trial phases for years. I actually went back and read all about the phases, and it's so interesting. So they would take people who had Lewy body, people who had Alzheimer's, like say people who had frontal lobe dementia, and then people who didn't have anything, and they would do a skin biopsy. And the people who had Lewy body all had these certain protein markers in the skin on the biopsy. Almost 100%.
In the skin, too, which I thought was weird.
Yeah.
Or interesting.
Yes. And so they do the biopsy 3 different places. I can't remember where she said. I think it was up here. It's kind of like top, middle, lower. And if it comes back, then it's more of a definitive diagnosis of Lewy body. And that just will help us be able to treat Jason more appropriately, because if it's not that form of dementia, then we got to figure out which kind of
if it's not that, maybe I'm just crazy, whack, funky.
Like the doctor said, it obviously has a neurodegenerative type disease, but it would just, just knowing where we're going, it's not really going to change the trajectory of where we're going, but how we handle it and treat it can be different.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you all of a sudden hear something super loud, we turn the heater on because it's cold in here.
It is.
Yeah. So, how's it? What do you think? Do you want to know?
I want to know. Also, based on the temperatures, it's definitely cold in here because there's some toros in the atmosphere.
It's cold in here.
For those of you that don't know, I grew up in Southern California, and I went to Rudas in the Junior High School in Ranchos Palos Verdes, California, and that was right next to Compton.
Jason used to test me when we were younger, and he'd be like, "What was the name of my school?" And I'd be like, I can say it now.
She's been there.
I have. I've been there.
The girls swear up and down there was some movie filmed there.
Yeah, they do. They were like, when we were there, they're like, such and such movie was filmed here. I think all California schools will kind of look alike. So, there's that.
Good.
Okay, so something that I felt like this would be an appropriate talk for this. People message me because they see things on Instagram where I'm out in the sunroom and they see guitars. And people have been asking me, does Jason play the guitar?
I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. I want to play the guitars. I forget what I've learned, and that's frustrating. And I get tired learning to play, like taking a when I say taking a guitar lesson, I'm using an app on my phone and or YouTube, and it's mentally exhausting. So I don't, let's just say slow and steady. Let's hope wins the race, because
I think one of the things that we talk about a lot is, and with dementia patients, they have a tendency to get hooked on something, and then we talk about this in the support group, and then it's hard to get them to vector off of that. You went through a phase there where you were super hooked on having these guitars like all over the walls.
Mm-hmm. Let's not discount the fact that I still think that's cool.
It's a silly question. I'm like, what? Do you know why you do that? Like, where that compulsion comes from that, you know, you didn't normally have?
I would say it's somewhere right here behind my right ear. Yeah, but right about there. I think that's where it comes from.
It's where, oh, uh-huh.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Not up here.
No.
No. Do you feel how cold my hands are? So, I think a day in the life video would be a really good thing to do, because I feel like a lot of people are really wondering what is really your life like now.
Probably you had to put some sort of auditory buffer on if you catch like yesterday afternoon's nap.
Because you got the snores.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness gracious, you cracked me up. Yeah. I don't know. A typical day for you is... you describe to me your typical day.
Well, there's some certain consistencies that must happen.
Coffee. Yes.
I eat, some lunch, breakfast, dinner, sometimes in that order. Yeah. And then it's just a crapshoot.
Naps. Everyone's been messaging me, asking me how your headaches have been doing.
A little bit better. Yesterday I had to lay down with my mask on because it was starting to get pretty bad, but I haven't had to do the mask thing in like almost a week.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So no headache at all?
No, just not bad enough that I had to lay down with the mask on.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So here's the real question. It like blows my mind. How do you never get sick?
All right, folks, I'm gonna be honest with you. I watch her get sick, and it looks pretty exhausting, to be honest. And I have become habitually lazy, although darn near professional level, competitive Olympic style napper.
You could win competitions.
But it looks pretty exhausting to get sick like that. So I, much like Jerry, I choose not to get sick. I choose not to run.
Oh, I forgot about that episode. Oh my goodness. I'm just getting over the, the Rona. And
for the third time.
And of course, Jason. Nothing. Completely fine. This is always him. It drives me nuts.
I got sick once in 1996 for about 3 hours. It did not feel good, and I chose that I will not do that again because I don't like it.
He was such a good little caretaker. He would make sure I had my medicine and all the stuff. He did a very good job.
Kept her fed, even when she didn't want to.
Yeah, he was bringing me gigantic meals, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't eat this. It was very nice, very nice. But feeling better. Now that's behind us, hopefully, for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So, coming up, we have the biopsy, and then we have some good projects coming up I think you're excited about.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing some, it's almost, maybe, although it's 19 degrees right now, we're gonna get steadily warmer, and I've got some garden pathways we've been wanting to put into, so as you guys know, we kind of missed the window last year on planting grass seed. It just, at some point it's just not going to pop and stick around. So we've kind of had a mud pit, it's just been dirt and muddy since the fall. So we're going to put some walkways in to alleviate walking on mud. But then also, when it's get it prepared, get the ground ready for seeding, so we can get some grass, because the mud's mud's mud.
That's pain.
Mm-hmm.
It's pain. Last week I put out a video and I told everybody about my own health condition, and a lot of people have asked me, like, how do you handle that, and like, what do you think of it, and what it's like on the flip side.
Well, there's a song from way back in the day. As you guys know, I'm a burgeoning guitar player, so I'm did I say something funny?
No, go ahead.
Comfortably Numb is the name of that song. We're going to insert a clip here. But she gets sick, you know, whatever, whenever, whoever, she's going to get sick. And it's just a matter of, is she knocking on death's door? And it's just, I'm used to it. I mean, I can pick out, it would be easier to list out trips we've taken that she did not get deathly ill. Many years ago, we went to Las Vegas for a Supercross series, the end of this Supercross series.
This one really sticks out in your mind,
yeah,
huh?
Was at Sam Boyd Stadium in Vegas, so we went out to that to go watch the series finale, and man, she got so sick. It was like, are we gonna fly you home in a body bag? Or it was bad. And then,
hey, but I was a trooper, and I tried to hang in there. I remember that.
We went to England last year, or last year. My goodness, that was
6 years ago.
6 years ago. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Last year times 6.
Yeah.
She made it the whole trip, and coming back, man, we stayed the last night at the airport in London, at the Heathrow Airport, and Michaela and me were doing everything we could to. I think Michaela was still in college. She was doing something.
Yeah.
Working on an assignment, but Leslie's up in the hotel room, just about dead. So,
but the best part is you had actually picked up a little cold.
You know what? It was me.
Yeah.
So I didn't get overly sick, but so we'll call it a parody of errors. This is back when I was still traveling for work, and I was going to meet them in London. So kind of coordinated. I was flying out of Philly because I was on the East Coast, and they were coming out of Kansas City. And I was like, okay, I land at 8, they land at 8:30, it'll be perfect. I'll just, get off my flight and meet them in customs. And then I realized, like, literally the day before, I used to travel a lot. So I would have like 4 to 8 flights a week. So it was a lot. That was a lot. So getting mixed up on a single flight, it's not like I didn't have, if I bought these tickets 2 months in advance, it's not like I didn't have 70 flights between the one I was booked on. So anyway, I start looking at it, and I realized I landed 8 p.m. and they were at 8:30 a.m. So I got in the next day. Yeah. I was like, okay, well, I'll just get a hostel. I'll go to a hostel, crash for the night, and I'll get up and go back to the airport and meet him. So I get there, crash at the hostel, and apparently picked up something that gave me the sniffles and knocked her out for the count.
I get there, and it was just a couple of days later he started getting. This trip was pretty long, like 12 days or something. Yeah. And like the few days later, he started getting the sniffles, and the moment if he gets any little sniffle like that, that'll be all he gets. And I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna die.
And you just about did.
Yeah. That's what was blowing me away. Like, I had COVID, and I am hacking my brains out right next to him, and he didn't get anything.
I choose not to be sick.
I just don't even understand. I'm so lucky. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, I put the video out last week. You can go check it out. It's a long story about all that. But
get your hankies ready, though.
Aw, there's no crying. Well, I think we'll wrap it up. We're headed up here to the VA. Jason's gonna get an x-ray on his back. And so we're gonna go do that really quick. But stay tuned. Hopefully the biopsy will be happening soon and we can let you guys know. What if all along the title of your videos have been living with Lewy by dementia? And it's not. We just wasn't going to be living with dementia until we know which kind.
I believe we're going to have to modify them and go back and retitle them Living with a Village Idiot.
Why you gotta talk about me like that? Alright, well, you ready? I guess we will see you guys in the next one.